Hey there, this is David Harris from Strength Performance Network coming to you again from the 2016 CSCCA conference here in Fort Worth, Texas. We have a great opportunity to talk to Adam and Mary Kate Feit. They have a very interesting background. Started out more in the more traditional sector in terms of training athletes in the college realm. Now moved into the private sector as well. So I'd love for you guys to just give our members a little understanding of your background. You had a very interesting. Come together, you're married now, and had a kind of interesting road to getting there. So, can you guys talk a little bit about that?
Sure. I started off, I did my undergrad at Holy Cross where I played soccer, and then I went on to Springfield College and did my grad work there. And then after that, I went and did the college thing. I was at Iowa, I was at Louisville, and then when Adam and I met, we started dating, we were getting married. Things started to shift, and that's when we decided to go private sector so that we could kind of take on an adventure together.
Adam, I know you went to quite a few different schools yourself as you were kind of rising or developing your own career. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so like a lot of undergrads, right, we all have this goal of like being this head football Division I strength coach, and I knew I wanted to be that when I was 18. So I went to Springfield College up in Massachusetts, and I knew right away I wanted to be a D1 strength coach. So, took care of all my internships, got done in about 3.5 years, got done playing football, went on to Arizona State, did an unpaid internship there. That brought me to the Citadel where I started my graduate work. From the Citadel, I moved on to University of Louisville. I did 2 seasons there as a first full-time coach in my position in my career. Got to be a head guy finally at 24 years old, so I got that one up to Eastern Michigan. A quick year there, NFL had called, did another year there. And again, that's where, Mary Kate had talked about things kind of really started to slow down for us. They needed to because now we call ourselves like Team Feit, like we're in this together. And we had to figure out what we're going to do. We were married, we were pregnant, and then we got a great opportunity to partner up with another couple in New Jersey, Sharon Wentworth and Bobby Smith, and really start something from nothing. And it was a 16,000 square foot facility warehouse with 7 athletes that, Bobby was training kind of on his own, and we're going on year 5 now. So we've been very fortunate to work with a lot of the area's greatest athletes and send them off to colleges and to work with coaches like we used to be to make sure that they're, optimally prepared for the next level.
What's the biggest difference between working with collegiate athletes and then working with the athletes that you work with in the private sector? I know you're probably working with collegiate athletes at some points, but you're also working with folks who are younger than that, or maybe people who are post-college, perhaps. I'm not sure.
Sure.
Post-college as well, in terms of just healthier lifestyle and developing towards whatever goals they might have from a physical standpoint. So what are the biggest differences?
I think the biggest thing that I really enjoy is we're getting them at such a moldable age where they don't really know what potential lies within them. And that's like in our business model, it's reach your potential training, RYPT for short. But, we're getting athletes that don't necessarily know how strong they are or how strong they could be or how well and how much more confident they can be. And we take a lot of pride in that, in developing, their mental strength, their self-esteem. And then like the physical dominance stuff that we talk about, the bigger, faster, stronger, that's the easiest part of our job. But getting our athletes that, come in with shoulders that are rolled forward and head down, and athletes, male or female, that don't believe in themselves, and after a 12-week program, stand up a little taller, talk a little bit more, getting them to like calm down, that's what we love. And I think when you're working with that college athlete, they know they're good. They're a college athlete. That's what we want to get them to. So, we take a lot of pride in that, but ultimately helping them discover what they're capable of. I think that's something really special.
I think to piggyback off that, we kind of become part of their families too. We go to their games. I train a lot of their parents, either personal training or in the group setting. So we get really close with them. They know our kids. We bring our kids to their games. So it's kind of fun becoming, it's not all about wins and losses. It's about developing these kids into, good people.
What would you say the average age of your athletes that come to RYPT are?
15-year-old female field hockey player.
Really?
We see about 1,000 athletes a year. Our busy seasons are the winter and summer. We're clipping around over 300 athletes. We get about 150 each quarter in the fall and spring. But you want the numbers in Excel, where the kid's coming from, and we've had to adapt that model. I came from the NFL coaching. My business partner is an Olympic trials champion in the javelin, so we've got great equipment, we've got great coaching, and then we have to make sure what type of client are we serving. So the numbers show us, field hockey is supreme in our area, and women's soccer and lacrosse, and so we've adapted our programs and our coaching styles to fit the demands of who's paying our bills.
So if the average age is around 15 or so, you're dealing with some kids that are in high school and have strength programs that are within their high school program. So how do you supplement those programs, or I guess in some instances potentially replace the program at the high school level, or do you do that?
Yeah, well, we actually found out about 60 to 70% of our athletes are female. And what we've noticed, and maybe Mary Kate can elaborate on this, but they're not really given those advantages at their school. The high school weight rooms are controlled by the football player, the football teams. And, we were football guys. I was a football guy. Well, guess what? The football guys are staying on site after school, training with the phys ed teacher, the assistant D-line coach, or maybe they have in our area, they have their own strength coaches. So, we've tried to do our very best to educate the players, the parents, and primarily the coaches. But we understand the type of field we work in, that they're going to do things a certain way. So, if it's football, we're going to cater to their movement quality. So we're going to work on their speed and their agility, but how well they can move and be efficient. Because you know what, they're going to bench and squat and deadlift at school, and we're not going to go ahead and butt up against a beast right there. With everybody else, the opportunities that we saw was they're not getting those. They don't have access to the high school weight room. Maybe they don't even have a high school weight room. So why pay $20 to join a fitness chain gym with no accountability, no coaching, no attention to detail, and you can kind of come out, hang out, get ripped, enjoy the experience, and you become a better athlete, teammate, person in the whole process.
And how about nutrition? I know that one of the areas that not a lot of high school kids get any education in is eating properly. You both have a good background in nutrition as well. How do you bring that into your program or introduce that to young athletes?
Adam and I are both PN level 1 and level 2 certified. So I work with the female athletes predominantly. Adam works with the male athletes, and it's not that complicated with them. They are so behind the 8 ball. They do eat something green today. You know what I mean? They just aren't good at eating healthy food. So just introducing it to them and getting them more involved in it. Let's say mom or dad are making a meal and you don't like the vegetable that is getting cooked. Go ahead and cut up a cucumber yourself. Trying to get them to take a little bit more initiative and not make it all on their parents, and get them more involved in the process. That way, when they go away to college, they know what they're doing, they know how to cook, they know what to buy, and they've started to, like different foods that hopefully will help make them healthier in the future.
Sure. And I think it builds on top of that, taking care of what we call the big rocks, right? So, if it's training, you're going to do some sort of pushing and pulling and rotating. It's the same thing with nutrition. We have to focus on food quality first, right? They're kids. They're going to go to the gas station. They're going to grab convenience food. They're going to drink, iced teas and eat pretzels at lunch. So how can we educate them on the quality of their decisions? The portions is another big one, right? We've worked alongside RDs. We've seen it. You just can't tell a kid, hey, your diet should be 40% carbohydrate or 60% carbohydrate, 30%. The numbers, we have to break it down. So, utilizing principles through precision nutrition where everything's based on your hands. Hey man, wherever I'm going in this conference, I'm always going to have my hands. I don't have to bring measuring cups. I don't have to bring food scales. So, by using portion sizes based off palms and thumbs and cupped handfuls and fists, we can make it appropriate to them. But it works for adults too. And then lastly, definitely educating them on the timing and the frequency, right? So, research may show that you might not need a post-workout shake right after you train, but it's still a good idea because you're going to go to his house or you're going to get in the car with your buddies and you're going to forget to eat. So we encourage our things and make sure that we're staying on top of the research, but really it comes down to those big rocks. Are we taking care of these things before we get all worried about, supplements here or, advanced macronutrient strategies there? It's, how can we be really brilliant at the basics?
That's interesting, the example you gave using your hands. I never thought about that, but you're right. It's the perfect measuring cup if you can teach people how to do that.
When you look at it, we've done the numbers. A palm size of protein would be, 40 to 60 grams of protein for a male athlete. One palm, it could be, 20 to 30. Thumb's worth of fat, cupped handfuls. You want to put them in a MyFitnessPal? Great, that's fine. But what's going to be sustainable for our athletes when they go away to college, when they don't have a dorm room, right? Or they go and they see a buffet. We're at the conference now. We have to make quality choices based off what we have. And this is a landmark that we're always going to have, and it works out great.
So along those lines, what are some of the things that you do from a strength program perspective or a fitness program perspective for kids to keep them interested, to make it, them want to come and continue to progress in the weight room or in your facility in RYPT?
I think, one, it has to be a social experience. The kids want to be there and have fun. You need to, joke with them. You need to have, them working out with friends or becoming friends with the people around them. But then you also need to play games with them, whether it's an agility conditioning game, agility conditioning game, whatever it is, making it challenging and fun and, making it something they enjoy. If they enjoy it, they're going to come back.
Yeah, and that's what we call the RYPT experience is, we learned in college, you're going to have athletes that they have to train with you. It's part of their contract as a student athlete. We never want that feeling for our kids because we want them to be mindful and choose. I want to go to RYPT. I want to be there. I want to be with my friends on the team because we understand the power of social interactions. So being in the private sector, they have to enjoy their time there or they won't sign back up again. And you never underestimate the power of one person, right? So, word of mouth is extremely powerful, as you know, in this business. If you have a bad experience at this place or with this type of supplement or this type of restaurant, you're not going to go back again. So being conscious of who they are and what they know, but also who they know, you treat every athlete, we're parents. We coach them hard, but we'd coach them just the same if we were coaching our children. And going above and beyond and going to their games and, spreading the love on Instagram and recognizing their efforts outside of the gym really stands the test of time when, hey, they're going to sign back up again because I coached you as hard as I could. We made it challenging. We also made it fun, but we care about you because guess what? You're going to go away someday to college and, we want you to come back.
It's interesting you mentioned Instagram. Are you actually leveraging social media as a way of staying connected to some of the younger athletes?
100%. We have found that athletes want to be tagged, they want to be recognized, and I talked about in that talk we were talking about earlier about this identity. Athletes will continually check. They're going to check. How many likes did this get? Did I get noticed here? And so, just what we talk about at PN is like finding the bright spots. Like, hey, did they squat really well today? Did they score a goal? I mean, sometimes we can't get to all the games, but guess what? Like, we're reading the papers and we're going to take a snapshot with our phone, and then we're going to post that and be like, awesome, we couldn't get there, but so proud of this type of athlete for scoring 3 goals. Way to stay ripped. Awesome. Keep it up. Work hard. And that's the age we live in. Kids want to be noticed, right? They want to be asked to the prom. They want to be recognized for their efforts. So why should it be any different with training?
Do you leverage any technologies of any kind at RYPT when you're working with the kids? That's been a theme here as we've talked to coaches in terms of how they're integrating or not technologies into their programs and actually using data to help the kids.
We would love to, but what we have found in our market is getting them to be consistent and accountable with their days is going to trump over anything else. So, while we stayed schooled on the research, whether it's HRV, it's velocity-based training, we have to figure out in a market, how can we make it sustainable for all of our coaches? We have a staff of 8 now, so, can we look at bar speed? Can we come up with a simplified version in a group setting? Because we don't have the budget that Division I, universities have these days. So, in terms of technology, I don't think you can go more than human interaction. You want to figure out if your athletes are ready to train and they're having a day, watch them warm up. Watch them sit around foam rolling before they train. Are they talking? Are they looking there like, oh, I hate my life, I don't want to be here? Or are they engaging with each other? If you can't get them to shut up, it's going to be a good day. So, I think the forward progressive model is there. Maybe our budget hasn't reached that level yet. So we really stay focused with, what's happening now. Don't focus on what you got to do as a coach later. Take care of your athletes, watch them interact with each other, and look at things. The best GPS thing or velocity-based training device can't match a coach's eye. And I think as coaches, as we get older, we learn that and we recognize that and we accept it.
I think to piggyback off that, our kids are so young that they really just need the basics. There's all this fancy stuff out there, but they don't even need that yet. They just need to learn how to move properly. They need to learn, good form. They need to learn, how to work hard. They have so many things to learn that we almost don't even need to touch on that yet.
Yeah. So in the college realm, you don't really deal with parents very much, right? Because you're primarily dealing with the coaches and the athletes. In the private sector, especially at the ages we're talking about, I'm sure you deal with parents a lot. When your parents are out there trying to find a place like RYPT for their children, what advice do you have in terms of how to find the right place?
So we talk about the 3 E's, and that's something that we've written about before on our website, and we try to educate. But, number one, you want to look for education. We are in a field where you can get a weekend certification, but that doesn't rival the years of bachelor's and master's degrees that, her and I and our whole staff have gone through. Certifications, right? So you've got this conference, the CSCCA, you've got the NSCA, you've got a host of gold standards. So we talk to parents, hey, while you're going through the shopping process, how educated are the coaches there? The next one is the experience. So we go from education to experience. What type of experience are they bringing to the table? For my wife and I and the rest of our staff, a lot of us coached in college. Some of us had coached or even competed at the highest level. So are they a weekend personal trainer just opening up a garage gym, or did they work with high-profile Division I athletes? And then lastly, building on top of the experience, what type of experience are you going to provide the child and the student athlete? In college, this is the way we do things. This is the time we have. But, we don't let parents inside our waiting room, outside into the weight room. But, they're going to watch. So on the first day, I want you to walk. I want you to go ahead and take a look at how we're coaching them, and this is going on. This is the coaching that they're going to get. So you've got education, you've got experience, but really it comes down to like the last thing we talk about, like just watch the environment. For us, we keep our shirts tucked in. That's a sign of professionalism for us. That's accountability. When you look at a weight room, is it dirty? Are there pencils on the ground? Are they keeping track of cards? So education, experience, environment, we tell all our parents, hey, come in the door. I'm hoping we're going to close the deal and we can sign up your athlete to make them better at, sport and life. But if not, look at these 3 things and see what else you look at. Hopefully you come back.
Guys, thanks a lot for your time. So I can tell you have a lot of passion for what you do. You're in it for the right reason. So then, the kids and the parents that are involved with RYPT are lucky to have you guys. So this is David Harris again from Strength Performance Network, the 2016 CSCCA conference here with Adam and Mary Kate Feit. with RYPT. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.